So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me make sure. Welcome to the training. I want to help you to unlock your potential as a virtual assistant or freelancer. So if you are here and that is where you fit, then I want to welcome you to the training. So you may or may not know who I am. And just by way of introduction, I just want to introduce myself to you. My name is Aldreama Harper. I am a certified organizational specialist, business coach, um, business organizing strategist, and declutter coach. And so if you are here for the first time, I want to again welcome you. And so, just a little bit about my background. I started my business as a professional organizer. And although that was not my first business, it was the one that stuck, right? And so, in this business, I would go out to clients, go to their homes, organize their offices, their closets, their cars, sometimes their files, things like that. And absolutely love what I do, right? And then just kind of went through a series of things in terms of how I wanted to show up in the marketplace. And so I made a few pivots, right? And so some of those pivots, even before that, so let me just share this part before I get to where we are now. So even before I started and launched my organizing business, I actually was an executive assistant. And so in corporate America. And so that's when I discovered some of the things that I really, really enjoyed. And I really discovered, my gifts and talents and things like that. And so that was where my passion and my proclivity actually intersected. And so during that time, I actually left corporate America, I believe in 1998 or something, somewhere around that time. And so then I made a few pivots before actually landing in the organizing business. I didn't even know that it was a thing at the time. And so I became a VA. I also did some what they call online business management, um, as well as operations management, as well as a few other pivots that I took. And so now what I am doing currently is helping people, particularly freelancers, executive assistants, solopreneurs to declutter and get organized. So what the thing that I do now kind of captures all of the things that I really love doing. But it started out from recognizing some of the things that not only that I love doing, but things that I also would help other people do as well. And where I would help other people to just kind of ignite the business of their dreams. So hopefully that is making sense. So let me see. I want to make sure that if you can hear me, okay, just please let me know that whether or not you can hear me. So still not sure, but I will just continue anyway. And so that is what I currently do. So again, I took a lot of little pivots, but stayed in the organizing space to help entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, ignite the business of their dream, right? So what we're going to be covering today in terms of this short training is going to ultimately help you to streamline your processes as a VA, as a solopreneur, as a freelancer, as well as create an environment for productivity, boost your income, and transform your business. So if that's what you want to hear all about, then just stay tuned, because I'm going to share a framework that's going to actually help you to do that. And then at the end, there'll be an opportunity to work with me further if you're interested. Also, you'll be able to ask any questions that you may have. So if that makes sense for you, type in the chat and say makes sense, or yes, or thumbs up, or whatever that is. All right, so I want to share with you what I call an online business mastery blueprint, and it's a four-step formula to an online business success. So if you are a virtual assistant, if you are a freelancer and you are working from home, you're working remote, if you're a solopreneur and you're working in the online space, even if you're a coach or consultant, this formula is actually going to work for you. Okay. And so let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I want you to picture something. I want you to just picture um, having or building a home, right? Building a house. And what I want you to do is uh, um, picture being able to build a house without a framework, without a process, without a system in place, without structure, without delegating, without streamlining some things. And this may not be what you have to do, but in your business, you are going to have to deploy some of those tactics in order to have a successful business, just as you would building a home. In other words, you're not going to be actually doing this, right? So others are going to be doing this. You're going to have plumbers, you're going to have electricians, you're going to have a contractor, you're going to have an architect, someone that's going to be able to come in and help you to get this structure in place, right? Well, the same thing holds true for your business, right? As a solopreneur, as a freelancer, as a virtual assistant, you are going to have to put some things in place in order to have a successful end result, right? Which in the case of a house, you'll have your house built, right? But you can't do it without a framework, without some type of structure, without delegating some things, right? And so you may be on the receiving end. Perhaps as a VA, you are one of the persons that is being handed or delegated some of the tasks to, right? And so in that case, you are helping others do the same thing. So I want you to actually picture how you can have a successful business by having some of those same things in place, some of the same things that you help others to do. So hopefully that makes sense. So with this online business mastery, it's a four-step formula, and we're going to cover those four steps in just a little bit more detail in just a moment. And so, and here you see on the screen what those four steps are. Okay, so your four steps are organize, optimize, systemize, and then monetize. Okay, and then monetize. So this is your four-step framework. So hopefully you are able to either take a snapshot or write these things down, and so that you can really understand that these are the four essential steps that's going to help you to get to that place where you have a well-oiled machine, where you have a business that doesn't require you to do everything, right? You're going to get the house built without having to do everything in the house. So let's talk about the first one. So organize. When we talk about organize, that really is, and I like to call them power secrets, okay? But it actually is not a secret. It may be something that you're overlooking in terms of how you can uh, um, do things in a more orderly fashion and create order in your life, right? Create order in your business, create order in your world. And when you get organized, then you're more able to help others in their business, particularly, as I said, as a freelancer, a virtual assistant, solopreneur, consultant, coach. You have to get organized and create some order in your life. Okay. A great quote that I found by A. Milne, and it says, organizing is what you do before you do something so that when you do it, it's not all mixed up, right? And so I love, love, love that quote. But here's a statistic that you may not be aware of. So we know, and we're probably familiar with the fact that a lot of startups fail in their first like 3 to 5 years of existence, right? But did you know that in that number, 23% of the failed startups is due to disorganization? Disorganization, like you're all over the place, right? And so I thought that was really, really a significant and important stat to share with you because a lot of people don't talk about that. So what organization does, though, it helps you to navigate the challenges, right? The challenges in your business, right? Whether that's trying to get, more leads, trying to get some more clients, right? Onboarding clients. Organization helps you to navigate through those challenges. Also, it helps you to make informed decisions and not only seize opportunities effectively, but see the opportunities that exist. When you're organized, you're able to do that. And so when you are organized in your endeavors, it allows time for clarity, right? The other thing that I wanted to make sure that I just drill in is that if you have repeated tasks in your business, and we all do, then it may be time to systemize it or automate it. Okay, systemize it or automate it. And let me go back to the allow time for clarity, because that involves a lot of allowing the white space on your calendar so that you can be clear about what you do. Okay, so being clear about the tasks that you have to get done. Okay, so organization helps you to do that. So let's talk a little bit about optimize, and that is the second step in the 4-step framework. So optimize helps you to make the most effective use of a situation, an asset, or a resource, right? Make the most effective use of a situation, an asset, or a resource. Here's a stat for you. So if you haven't noticed, I love to provide stats. Stats and quotes are my thing. The average conversion rate increases 30% when you optimize. When you optimize. And so a lot of us, we're familiar with this term, and we think of optimization like, our websites, our content, all of those type of things, right? Search engine optimization, things like that. But have you ever thought about clarity, skills, environment, and your business? Optimizing those. Clarity is an asset. It's an asset. Your skills are an asset. Your environment is an asset. Your work environment is an asset to you, right? Because it helps you to make money. Particularly, again, if you work from home, your environment is an asset to you. Your business is definitely an asset to you. And so you want to make sure that you're optimizing all of those areas, your assets, your situations, all of those things. And so that is what's going to help you to get things done. So you want to make sure that you optimize, okay? That you optimize. So that is the second um, piece of the framework, okay? Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. So the third power secret is systemizing. Systemizing is all about processes and frameworks, okay? Processes and frameworks. And so it helps things to be more scalable in your operations, to be more consistent when it comes to bringing on clients, when you have systems in place, your onboarding processes, all of the things that's going to help you create a more streamlined business and operate on a very optimal level, right? And so you want to make sure that you have systems in place so things can be consistent, okay? So things like your CRM, your customer relationship management system, your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, right? Everything that helps you to have a more scalable infrastructure in your business. And I know I'm talking to VAs and I'm talking to freelancers, and I'm talking to you as one on the receiving end of someone that you are probably helping, right? But you also want to have these things in place. And the reason that I say that is because I have talked to a lot of VAs and freelancers and solopreneurs and consultants that don't have these things in place. And so therefore, they feel like they're all over the place and overwhelmed. So Systemize is that third step in the process. And so what systemizing does is it increases your average sales of 29% when you have systems in place, because it allows you to focus on other things, right? So here's a quote from Michael Gerber. It says, "The biggest or the greatest business people I've met are determined to get it right, no matter what the cost is." So the thing about, having these things in place, putting systems and processes in place, you want to do that on the front end so that on the back end, you can have more free time. Okay. Sometimes people don't realize, they just want to jump in, right? Okay, I got a business. And here's the thing, I know it because I've done that. In my organizing business, I did not put the things in place that I needed in order to have a more smooth operating machine. Okay. And so that did not allow me to scale. And basically, I had created a job for myself. So it's going to cost you either on the front end or the back end. All right, monetize. That's power secret number 4. We're still talking about the 4-step framework for online business mastery. So monetizing is all about the revenue, right? Generating revenue and maximizing your profitability. And I love this quote. It says, "Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king." Who doesn't love cash, right? In their business, an ongoing influx of cash flow. Okay. And so here's the thing when it comes to monetization, there is a 58% higher sales and 23% higher customer retention that happens as a result of monetizing. Okay, as a result of monetizing. And so two of the things that when it comes to monetizing that I've seen is particularly in terms of, VAs, when you're just starting out, it's like you're not exactly sure what kind of pricing strategy that you should have in place. I see it in the groups that I'm in, even my clients. I have a couple of clients that's launched their businesses, and they struggle in the area of pricing strategy. So I don't know exactly how to price this. Should I charge by the hour? Should I charge by the package? What does that look like? I have all of this competition out here, things like that. And so what I would say to that is, number one, you want to be true to yourself. Okay. You want to make sure that you have the right pricing strategy in place that helps you reach the revenue and income that you actually want to reach. So you got to think about all of those things. I can share with you in my organizing business one time. This was early on in my organizing business. I was called upon to submit a proposal for a huge project. Huge project. I had never had a project this size before, and it was a warehouse to organize a warehouse. And so when I submitted the first proposal, if they had actually uh, taken the opportunity on that first proposal, taken me up on it, I would have ended up paying them to do the project. It was that low. I had no idea how to structure the pricing strategy that covered everything. And so I hired a coach to help me to do that. And so ended up, I did the project, and it was definitely a success. But I had not considered all the things that I needed to include in my pricing. Okay, I had on that particular project, I had to hire 15. No, it was 20. Actually, it was 20 people to help me with that project. It was a huge project. I had to travel an hour each way, right? Which was gas. And at the time, my husband and I had one vehicle. So I had to include the car rental because I had to rent a car. I had to include the workers that I was going to hire. And so when I came back with another proposal, it covered all of that. So pricing strategies are important. Okay. And then the other thing is diversification. So diversification in the realm of monetization or monetizing your efforts is more about, okay, I have something in place now. How do I monetize that? How do I diversify my efforts? I have a coaching business in place. So how do I diversify my efforts and get multiple streams of income going, right? But what I see in the most common thing that I see is where people will diversify before it's time, right? If you diversify before it's time, it's going to be an epic failure. Okay, it's going to be an epic failure. So you want to deploy this 4-step framework, get organized, you want to optimize, systemize, and then monetize your efforts. Okay, so I wanted to share with you really quickly two success stories, okay? Two success stories, particularly as it relates to uh, a couple of clients that I've had to go through this process, okay? So Rebecca launched, actually, she was retiring, okay? And she actually went through my decluttering challenge. That's one of the online um, events that I conduct. I was doing it monthly, but now it's quarterly. And so after the decluttering challenge, and let me even before, even not just her, but there were about 5 people that went through the decluttering challenge that was able to launch their business. So Rebecca was one of them, and I've interviewed her. um, After the challenge, she launched her writing service. And as a matter of fact, my husband and I actually used her service. And so she was going to retire, but she decided that she was going to launch her business because after going through the decluttering challenge, she got so much clarity and got organized and went through this process that I'm sharing with you now, that she was able to launch her business, right? Stacy, another one that actually went through my decluttering challenge. And the decluttering challenge, by the way, is just one aspect of this whole process, right? It's an aspect of the organizing process, right? But Stacy, who is another one of the success stories, she went through the decluttering challenge. Now, she had worked in corporate America and had never had a business. She hadn't even considered a business. She actually went through the decluttering challenge. And as a result, she launched her business. And it was like about 7 months ago. She's actually on track right now to make 6 figures, right? And so I don't say that just to, brag or anything about myself, because here's the thing: you have to put in the work, right? You got to put in the work. You got to want to do these things. But once these people, like I said, it was about 5 ladies that went through the challenge. And once they went through the challenge, I was like, this thing is working. This works, right? Because you don't, a lot of times people are not able to, rather, they're not able to understand the tangible results that come from this 4-step process, right? When you think about getting organized, right, or decluttering, people don't think about the tangible results and the cost that clutter is causing you, because what happens is it's costing you in ideas. Had Stacy not gone through the decluttering challenge, she would never have been on her way to her 6-figure contract. And she hasn't even been in business for a year yet, right? And so she is the reason I love to brag on these 2 clients is because, again, they put in the work, they understood the necessity and the tangible results of going through these types of processes and this type of challenge. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I share that with you as a result of this. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to invite you to a call with me, a 15-minute call with me. All you got to do is go to chatwithdream.com. If you're interested in anything that I've shared that can help you unlock the type of potential that I just shared with you as a virtual assistant, as a freelancer, as Rebecca is, if you're a consultant, a coach, solopreneur, what have you. If you're interested in just talking about it, then I invite you to go to chatwithdream.com in order to see if that's something that will work for you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up for questions, see if you have any questions. I know that some of you entered, you may have come in after I had already started, and so you may now have some questions about, what I've already shared. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put that link that I just shared with you in the comments section. Chatwithdream.com. And that will get you scheduled on my calendar. So now I'm going to stop the presentation and see what kind of questions you all may have.